Well, Bulls fans, Caleb Wilson was special tonight. 7 threes, 35 points, breaking a summer league debut record with the points scored in 35 points. While the Bulls did not get a win, they gave us a lot to think about. Both Caleb Wilson and Noa Essengue had a solid game as well. We'd like to see him more consistent and more aggressive, but we're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. For that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. The Chicago Bulls. Let me not say the Chicago Bulls. Caleb Wilson put on a show today. There's some moments of frustration, but Caleb Wilson led all scorers in scoring with 35 points, breaking a record for the Summer League as far as debut in the Las Vegas Summer League for points scored. He had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks from Caleb Wilson. That is an amazing stat line. Now, as I've said with all things, I'm going to hold everybody accountable to this because I've been saying the same thing. The fact of the matter is, this is Summer League. Do not take Summer League as it is what it is, right? Like, this is not going to be how it's always going to be for Caleb Wilson, and we don't want to overreact or underreact to Summer League. But in the framework of what Summer League is, Caleb Wilson put on an absolute show today, and you got to give him credit for what he was able to do today. And he did it from 3. His first shot of the game was a 3-pointer. Keep in mind, Caleb Wilson, the biggest knock on him in the draft class is he's an inconsistent 3-point shooter. If Caleb Wilson's going to turn into this consistent 3-point shooter, then it's going to, of course, going 7 of 11 is ridiculous. 63% from the 3-point line. You don't want to expect that. And 11 of his 21 shots were from the 3-point line as well, which means he wasn't overly effective when it's not from the 3-point line. He was 5 of 10. Well, I guess that's still 50% from everywhere else on the field. He shot the ball 57% from the field overall today. But, the confidence of Caleb Wilson is what showed today. And that's the thing that you want to see from Caleb Wilson is how he continues to develop as a player and what he continues to show. And Caleb Wilson was an absolute monster tonight, just showing so much confidence in regards to just that shot. He was taking step-back threes. He was taking off-dribble threes, everything that you can want. And so they said in this game as well, one of the announcers, they're like, this shows how much Caleb Wilson has been working on his game. People will remember, it's been months since Caleb Wilson's played basketball. So maybe he has been working on that 3. If Caleb Wilson can develop a consistent 3-pointer, right? I'm not going to take this game to say that he's going to do that for sure, but if he can develop a consistent 3-pointer, it means so much for how you have to guard him, because at that point, he becomes so dangerous. He has that quick first step. He has dribble moves to get himself to the rim as well. And this was a game where we didn't have any true point guard. No true point guard in this game. We'll get more on that in the Dalen Swain at point guard experiment and how that's already dead. But with no point guard to really get him the ball, and Caleb Wilson, one of his biggest knocks is that he doesn't have a consistent ability to create his own shot on the perimeter. This went a long way in kind of calming some of that down. You know, there are a lot of Bulls fans that, right or wrong, I think that it's wrong to worry about Summer League too much, but, they wanted to see this big game from Caleb Wilson, and some of the other big games that we saw people have, if they didn't see a game like this from Caleb, they were going to start thinking, is he a bust? And, again, it shouldn't be that reaction, but Caleb Wilson delivered so much of exactly what you wanted to see from him from preseason. And I said this in the pregame, or the live stream, is that do not be surprised if they shut Caleb Wilson down early. If Caleb Wilson has another game like this, he may not play all 5 Summer League games because the Bulls are probably going to see exactly what they need to see from him and not want to risk it. But Caleb Wilson had a great game today, and at the Summer League level, it's amazing. I would like to see him shoot the ball a little bit better from the free throw line. He was 2 of 6, so 33% from the free throw line. We were terrible from the free throw line as a team today. But overall, the 12 of 21, 57% shooting, 7 of 11 from the 3-point line, 35 points, three blocks, 2 steals, 5 rebounds. He did have 6 turnovers, but Summer League is sloppy anyway. I'm not really holding into that. Great game from Caleb Wilson. Much love to him and how he played today. Give him the credit for that one. Noa Essengue, started off a little bit slow, started off timid, right? And wasn't as aggressive. I like to see him on the offensive side of the ball. He was setting screens. He was rotating, closing out well defensively. But slowly but surely, Noa Essengue had himself a solid game. 10 points, 4 blocks, 2 steals, 5 rebounds, only 1 turnover, and he was the only player in the starting lineup, I believe, that had a positive plus-minus. Now, plus-minus isn't the end-all, be-all, but you know what we saw from Noa Essengue today is his ability to get to the free throw line. Between the rebounding, the shot blocking, and the ability to get to the free throw line because he's active, that's how Noah can find a path for himself to get minutes at the NBA level. And, that's what I would like to see him continue. He started the game off today as the small forward. Caleb Wilson started as the power forward. And, we'll see. We already heard Tiago said he wanted to play him at the 3, the 4, and the 5, but he played the 3 today. And for what it's worth, 40% shooting from the field, 42% shooting from the free throw line. Like to see that a little bit better. He's usually a little bit better free throw shooter than that. And overall, he had himself a solid game. Noa Essengue, it was one of those games where the confidence built over the course of the game. And we saw last year in Summer League that Noa Essengue actually was pretty aggressive in getting to the rim in Summer League. He didn't start off this game aggressive at all. The defense initially started getting him in rhythm, and then we started seeing him push the pace. Try to push the pressure and getting to the rim, making people stop him. He tried to yam it on somebody at one point in time. I can't remember the player. I don't think it was Cam Boozer. He tried to yam it, and it's like he woke up at that point. Love to see that from Noa Essengue. So, I know that people are ready to say Noah's the next P. Will or ready to say he's a bust or whatever it is for Noa Essengue. But I think as a 19-year-old player who is coming back from a season-ending surgery, who's not played basketball in 6, 7, 8 months, that, this was a game where you just saw him work his confidence back up. Now, hopefully in the second Summer League game, he starts off a little bit more confident, and we see that. But 10 points, 4 blocks, 2 steals, 5 rebounds in 28 minutes in Summer League basketball, that's a solid stat sheet. Not great, but a solid stat sheet. Dalen Swain. The Dalen Swain experiment at point guard was a fail today. And this is what I mean when, people had the huge reactions to Dalen Swain being able to take the point guard role from Josh Giddey and things like that. Dalen is not a point guard, and that's perfectly fine. His passing isn't point guard level passing. He's a connective passer. He's an off-ball player. He got a little bit more aggressive as well as the game went on. He finishes with 7 points, going 3 of 10 from the field, but the point guard experiment just wasn't there for him. He did have 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 4 rebounds in this game, 1 steal, and I think that you just saw a Swain that was played for a role that didn't really fit him. And I think that was clear and evident as the game went on. Dalen's just not a point guard, and we don't have an actual point guard on the Summer League roster, and it really did stand out in today in how things went. We just don't have a point guard. So, Dalen's probably going to continue to play the point guard role for the remainder of the Summer League because we just don't have one on the roster. But I would like to see him get more in his bag and in his game to really kind of see what he can do. You can tell that he was frustrated as this game went on, too. I felt for him in that one. And I know that how Bulls fans react. Cameron Carr had 20-point games. They're going to immediately say we should have drafted Cameron Carr, but Dalen Swain was not played to the best strengths. John Wall called it out. The commentary team called it over the game. And Swain's going to have to either adjust or they're going to have to use him differently. Now, I do think once the regular season games start, once we get into the NBA season, you're not going to see Swain at point guard. You're going to see him playing off Trey Jones, playing off Josh Giddey, and I think you're going to see a better role for him when he does that. But, I hate that there are going to be a lot of people that judge Dalen Swain and his potential based off this game, and they're not going to take into consideration how he's played out of his normal role and out of his natural position. But that's just what it is. I think that's just what it's going to be. Bulls fans are going to make their knee-jerk reactions to it. And at the end of the day, you're not trying to win Bulls fans' reactions on social media right now. You're trying to develop a player long-term. I think Dalen Swain's going to be perfectly fine. Don't know what level or caliber of player he's going to turn into, but I think Dalen Swain's going to be a perfectly fine player when it's all said and done. Jalen Sellers in this game frustrated the holy hell out of me. Yes, he finished with 15 points. He was a second leading scorer. But if you watch this game and don't just look at the stat sheet, you saw that Jalen Sellers went into business for himself way too often. There was times where he took bad three-pointers early in the shot clock. He missed Caleb Wilson on a clear cut. That was Chandler. That was Kennedy Chandler who missed Caleb Wilson on the clear cut where the defender's back was turned towards Caleb Wilson. They had to throw a lob to Caleb Wilson. He would have had an easy 2 points. But Jalen Sellers, 4 of 13 in this game. He did score, like I said, the second highest points with 15 points. But if you watch this game, it was a very frustrating 15 points. So, that's why I didn't talk about it on the positive side. Jalen Sellers didn't really play the best. I'm also excited about Jalen Sellers as a two-way player, and I think they're going to invest that time to develop him. But it wasn't the best game for Jalen Sellers in this game. A lot of people that were excited to see Donovan Atwell. He ended up playing 15 minutes, only 6 points. He was 2 of 4 from the field, both of those being three-pointers. He wasn't used a whole lot in this game. I don't know if he even checked in the first half of this game. I'm not sure if he did or not. But Donovan Atwell just didn't get a lot of time and opportunity. I know a lot of people were asking if Donovan Atwell had a chance to get that final roster spot. Based off this, I didn't see anything in that. But again, he wasn't used a lot in this one. But a player that frustrated the absolute fucking hell out of me today was Malik Williams. Oh my God. Oh my God. Everything, he could not get right. He was the can't get right of this team today, and it was downright frustrating and awful. The dude could not do any goddamn thing well. Nothing well. There were so many wasted possessions today. But I think also, one of the things that we're looking at for this game is this was one of our first tastes of Tiago Splitter's coaching with the Chicago Bulls. And Summer League isn't necessarily the most X's and O's heavy basketball that you see. Tiago Splitter said that, one thing he said is we're going to be one of the most physical teams in Summer League. I didn't really see that today. Now, they did face off against a Memphis Grizzlies team that this is their 4th Summer League game, right? Because they played in the other Summer League. So they played a lot more together. And I think you saw that in this game. Not to make any excuses, but I think you did see that this was a Memphis Grizzlies team that just was better, more of a team. They played more. They were more familiar with each other. They had more balance in this game. And that's just the reality of it. But we got to give some love to Cam Boozer as well. Cam Boozer, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 4 turnovers. Cam Boozer played a really good game today. 1 of 1 from the three-point line. But, there are a lot of people that would have been mad, or they talked about they would have been mad if Cam Boozer was the one to fall to the Bulls. Cam Boozer's a perfectly fine player. His defensive rotations were really good today. He didn't look like he had that lack of lateral quickness a lot. Him and Caleb Wilson didn't guard each other as much as I wanted to. Cam Boozer did guard Caleb Wilson early in the game, whereas Caleb Wilson was guarding a wing player, more so on Cedric Coward as well. We had 17 points in this game. But overall, I'll just say this is that Cam Boozer's a stud, and Cedric Coward's a stud too. 17 points from Cedric Coward in this game also. Love to see Cedric Coward play basketball. Y'all know that was my boy Pat's, one of his favorite players in that draft. But overall, I'll say the thing that made the difference for the Bulls in this game, on top of the lack of connectivity as a team, was our free throw shooting. We were 13 to 25, 52% free throws. We got to get better on that. If we would have been better from free throws today, we could have very well won this game. We could have won this game. And that's everybody, right? Noa Essengue was 3 of 7. Caleb Wilson was 2 of 6, right? Everybody could have shot the free throw a little bit better. Had we done that, I think we would have been more in this game as it went down the stretch of it. But I'm not going, it's Summer League. We're not going to overgas it or whatever it is. It just is what it is at this point. Maestro Truth says, "Sup Haize, we back. The structure is evident from the first game coaching. To only lose by one first game ever, C-Dub is a beast." Listen, Caleb Wilson looked amazing today. New Harper says, "Boozer is strong. He doesn't just, oh yeah, Boozer's absolutely strong." And I'm glad that a lot of people understand too, is that Boozer is a very polished player. And I saw some people when we were in the live call during the game, there's some people that were like, "Hey, listen, Boozer is he's not his dad." There are a lot of people that really did think Cam Boozer was just going to play like his dad. Cam Boozer plays nothing like his dad. Nothing. Yeah, man, I'm still doing my Noa Essengue versus Juan Behringer player performance, just as us all Bulls fans are going to be judging this Dalen Swain versus Cam Carr player comparison. I mean, listen, you can do that all you want. Like I said before, I said this during the live stream too, Mario Chalmers cooked Derrick Rose and had a better summer league than Derrick Rose. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen for their career, but we'll see. We'll see, right? Caleb looking like the first pick. Caleb looked good. He looked good. Phelps says, "I think we got one." Let's hope so, man. Like I said, I'm not going to overreact to summer league at all, but Caleb Wilson was special tonight. He was special tonight. And if even if let's just say Caleb Wilson plays 80% of this in the NBA season, That's a bad boy, especially as a rookie. That's a bad boy. You know, Caleb talked about wanting to be rookie of the year. He talked about all of that, and we'll see if he can end up getting it. Do colleges not teach people how to make free throws? I mean, not all these players are colleges. Like, it is what it is. It was an off night. Chandler not passing for that lob to Caleb cost a free highlight. Man, I don't know if you were on the live call. I was so frustrated by that missed lob because that's just simple basketball. Like, if he just, and that's where you don't have an actual point guard on this roster, right? Because that was just simple basketball. Cam Boozer was the only person guarding the ball, and his back was, he didn't even see where Caleb Wilson was. That would have been an easy yam for Caleb Wilson. Easy yam. We got Vern in the building, says, what's the word, Drip? I know it's only summer league, but in my opinion, we got us one again. That is Caleb Wilson. Been 20 years since we had a legit star in D Rose. Again, only summer league, but BG might have struck gold. Like I said, I'm not going to overreact either to the good or the bad, right? Just like I'm saying, let's pump our brakes a little bit on Cam or Caleb Wilson's game. I'm also saying don't judge Dalen Swain very harshly by this game either. It's summer league. Summer league is weird basketball, and I say this: don't take it all as a 1-for-1. We'll see how it's going to develop. Love Noah. He just has to learn the physicality of the NBA. Absolutely. He's going to have to adjust to that for sure. Swain dribbling with his head down too much for me was my takeaway from him. He did dribble with his head down a lot, especially on drives, which is really like, you don't want to dribble with your head down when you're going into a player because you don't know what they're doing. You don't know what they're doing with their hands when you do that. So, that's something that you definitely got to look about, right? I don't care about nothing. I think we got, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell y'all not to be hype. I'm not going to tell y'all not to be hype. I'm just going to say, for me, like I said, I don't get too far up or too far down on summer league basketball. Caleb Wilson is a generational talent, no doubt about it. If only Bulls shoot like free throws, well, they may win this game. I mean, listen, I'm not going to say somebody's for sure a generational talent based off summer league. That's my personal opinion, but I'm glad that Bulls fans are excited. Like, because it's been so down for us as a fan base for so long. I'm just glad that people are excited again. Definitely glad people are excited again, because that's part of what you want when you went through changing your front office, getting a new head coach. You hope that is going to reinvigorate the excitement around the fan base, and it really does seem like that's what's happening in this team. Caleb took it personal that they're questioning the shooting. Hey, man, listen, like I said, not willing to say it for sure yet, but if he continues, if he turns into a solid three-point shooter, watch out. That boy going to be dangerous, man. Sellers was selling at the end, but Caleb Wilson is like that. We'll see. Giddey stock may have risen more than anyone's tonight. Granted, it's summer league, but to think it's clear splitters offense will benefit greatly from having a true floor general instead of so much ISO. I mean, yeah, but I think we kind of knew that, like, coming into it. Like, I get it that people like to sensationalize what's going to happen with Josh Giddey or not, but, like, Josh Giddey is set up really well to play under Thiago Splitter. I think Thiago's going to use him to the best of his ability. I think that we could see him have like a Denny Advia type leap this season. We'll see. And by leap, it's not just statistically. People are going to be like, but he averaged. I'm not just talking about statistically. I'm talking about impact. I'm talking about the way that he managed games, how he came up big late in games sometimes, how they played off of Denny, stuff like that. Noa Essengue equals any, aka need energy, aka a little warm. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Uncle Alert, that's funny. Am I wrong, or when we be looking at the best player in the draft, if this level of play is the same if this level of play is the same in the NBA, he's going to be Rookie of the Year. But that's why it's summer league. He's not facing off against the greatest defenders, even though Cam Boozer was defending him a lot this game. But we just got to see. Like, again, summer league is not a 1-for-1 for NBA performance, and I'm never going to try to sell anybody on saying that it's going to be 1-for-1. But he did for what's in Caleb Wilson's control. He gave Bulls fans a lot to be excited about tonight. And that's all that you need to see. It's a lot to be excited about, and he did that today. So it's good. Haize, if Caleb plays like this in game 2, would you sit him for the rest of the summer league? Probably, to be honest with you. If because your head coach is also coaching him, if Caleb Wilson has another game like this in game 2, which is on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the 13th, man, sit his ass. Don't even risk it. Just go ahead and sit him. Antoine says, I know this is just his game. I don't know that kid could shoot like that. Listen, nobody knew he could shoot like that. That's not like that's the big, nobody thought that he can shoot like that. So we'll see if he can continue, because if he can, It's gonna be a lot of fun if Caleb Wilson continues to shoot like that. But all right, y'all, that's going to do it, man, for today. It's a Summer League game. I'm not going to do 30-minute post-game show in a Summer League game. Caleb Wilson, this is the ultimate takeaway. Caleb Wilson looked damn good. He looked good. He looked damn good. Noa Essengue looked better as the game went on. And Dalen Swain just isn't a point guard. Those are the three most important players that we were looking for in this Summer League. And I think that we got some stuff to take, and we'll see what comes on Monday for these guys, man. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. We're going to do that with your guys' help. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, help us get to that goal. In exchange for that, I'll be delivering some of the best daily Bulls content that you'll find anywhere on the internet. So make sure you guys stay in tune with us for that. You can follow us at Bull Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. That is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See you right if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.